Welcome back to another Inner Sleuths live stream. This is PaxCast Season 1, Episode 3. And as you can tell on screen already, we're going to be talking about the new Founders Pack information for the pre-purchase that has just came out. It was just brought to my attention. Let's see, who notified me about this? Zalmoxis. Thank you very much for letting me know about the early access announcement there on their website. For everyone listening, if you go to playpaxday.com, you'll see a spot where it says embark now, and that's where you can get to the web page that you see on screen here. So we got a lot of information to cover in this podcast, this episode of PaxCast. We have a ton. We have a bunch of different packs here for to be a founder for Pax Day that we're going to talk about all the different features in them, what you get, which one I think is probably the most worth it. We're going to be talking about future monetization of the game because that's going to be a huge thing. They could do it really, really wrong, or they could do it really, really good, in my opinion. So it's going to come down to what path they choose to go, and they tell us a little bit further down below. But I'm going to kind of give them some grief on how they're going about announcing their monetization because they're being kind of vague up front. And it seems like they're going to be getting people to become a founder without actually knowing what the full commitment to PAX Day is going to be going forward. And I think that that's a little bit worrisome, but we'll see. Oh, there's Zalmoxis in the chat. He says, "You're most welcome." Thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to get the news out to everyone as fast as possible. That's why we're doing this at kind of a strange hour here on a Tuesday, but I have a Star Wars Unlimited event I'm going to be going to later tonight, so I had to get this out before I have to get ready to go to that event. That's over at Dane's Games. So let's just hop right in here, and we're just going to go through. So you can see early access, become a founder, pre-purchase now. So we have 3 packages here. Let me line these up on screen. Here we go. So it says purchase a founders pack and enter the world of PAX Day as soon as early access starts. By becoming a founder, you are directly helping fulfill our vision of a living, breathing world you can inhabit for years to come. Thank you for your support. So they did, I read through this a little bit. They did tell us about the early access start date and the estimated end date. I think June 18th, 2024 is when it's going to start, and we'll get more into that down below after we go through what these packs actually offer. And the end date is going to be at earliest June 2025. So it's going to be, looks like a year early access approximately. Yeah, that could change. We're not really too sure yet. But this is just what they've told us. So you have Journeyman, Artisan, and Master, and they come. This is normal for games nowadays. Unfortunately, you have pre-purchase packages. And in my opinion, whenever there's packages like these, the only package that exists in my eyes is the biggest package because you're buying a game, right? Back when I used to get games early on in my gaming endeavors, you'd buy a game and you would have access to everything that came along with that game. So in my eyes, the only package that exists is the highest package. That's what the price of the game is, in my opinion. Because why would you get into a brand new game and not have access to everything that the game has to offer? You can think that's silly, you can think whatever you want to think about that, but like when other games like Diablo 4 and all these other games have different packages and tiers, the highest tier has the most complete content. And especially when the game is in early access, we're funding the creation of the game. It's not as direct as a game like Star Citizen, where you are directly funding the creation of the game, like it's a crowd-funded game. This game existed before our money, and it will exist after our money, so it's not a crowd-funded game, so it's a little bit different. You don't have as much authority over the game as you'd think. But yeah, having multiple packages, not really a fan of it. I wish they would just release the game, you're a founder, and then tell us what their monetization is up front. But we got what we got here. So it says select your founders pack. Journeyman is 39.99 euros. Artisan is 59.99 euros, and Master is 99.99 euros. What do you get for your money here? So with Journeyman, you get access to the game. and for the entire duration of the early access, thanks for being a part of the journey. So all the tiers, Journeyman, Artisan, and Master, they all get access to the game for the entire duration of the early access and into the future. They all get the Founders Discord role. So head to your exclusive Discord channels to bring your suggestions directly to the dev team, or head to your exclusive Discord channel to bring your suggestions directly to the dev team. I'm kind of excited about that because that means that they're going to be hearing from the people who are backing the project this early on. Journeyman, Artisan, and Master, all 3 tiers get access to that. Plots of land. This is where it's getting interesting now. I had mentioned before I was curious about how they're going to go about monetizing the game and how you're going to obtain plots. So if plots are solely purchasable, that's not necessarily a bad thing or a game breaker. I just prefer when games include the content of the game in the game. For instance, isn't it more rewarding to earn a plot of land through doing an in-game activity? And the reason I have some problems with the way this monetization is going already is because they've talked further down, they talk about subscriptions, ongoing subscriptions for maintaining the servers and keeping your plots and stuff like that. So if you have to purchase your plots and then you need to have a subscription on top of it, I don't like when games dip too much into different forms of monetization. And then if you add any form of pay to win on top of it, it's honestly a deal breaker then, because it gets to be too much. It's too predatory with its monetization, and then you add in pay to win on top of it, or any form of player power. I'm not saying Plots of Lands are player power, and I'm not trying to be too harsh, but I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I give you my thoughts exactly as they are, straight from my mouth. So plots of land being purchased, a little bit worrisome. Not the end of the world, because plots of land, you only need so much land, right? This is really going to more benefit large groups of people. Zelmoxa says, I don't want to keep interrupting. If you have a section of the podcast where you want to chat with members, let me know. I do a few questions on topics I need to read. No need to read aloud. I mean, you're more than welcome to put them here in the chat. If you don't want them to be read out loud, that's cool. I won't read them, but I tend to read all the chats that come in, just because it lets people who are watching at a later date or listening be able to hear the engagement that's going on with the viewers. And this is live, so it is the platform for that. So if you have any topics of anything, try to keep them like, obviously you can say whatever you want, but if you have any topics of something that I'm currently talking about, there's a 20-second delay and then a little bit more because of the way the lag is with uploading. So if you have something to mention about like plots of land or anything that I've previously talked about, go ahead and pop it in there and I'll read it off and we can have a discussion about it. Absolutely. That's what the whole live engagement is for. But yeah, plots of land being purchased, not a huge deal breaker. It's just kind of worrisome considering that you're going to have a subscription on top of this. So they're probably going to have some form of, and this is just me speculating, like a game like Mabinogi. I know it's not a very popular game anymore. It was really old school MMO. You would purchase your character cards and then you could make a character from that. You could purchase pet slots and then you would, make a pet from that. You could purchase different in-game resources and things of that nature. And then those were part of the game. You could have the access to those features and creatures and stuff like that. And you'd still have to level them up and give them equipment or whatever it is that you wanted to do with them. So it was just giving you access to them. So if these plots of land are purchasable, how many can you purchase? There has to be a limit, because otherwise it's not pay to win, but it's essentially pay to lock down an entire region. Because if you can have unlimited number of plots and you could just keep purchasing them, that would be worrisome. Character slots, not a big deal. They talk about character slots here. So, well, first, with the plots of land, if you get the Journeyman, $39.99, you get 1 plot. And we saw how big the plots are. I don't know if those are going to change at all. But if they get bigger or smaller or whatever, you only get 1 plot. Artisan gets 2 plots, so you get double the plots. And then Master, so Artisan $59.99, you get 2 plots. Master $99.99, you get 4 plots, so it doubles again. I can see these plots being very useful for larger clans. If you have multiple people who have the Master package, you're going to be able to secure a much larger area and a larger, you're going to have a big cushion around your property to where people can't build right up on top of you if you can build out a little bit further. Character slots for Journeyman, you get 2. Artisan, you get 4, and Master, you get 6. So not quite doubling there on the Masters. You know, you'd get 8 if it was going to double again, but you get 6. You get an additional 2 for every package upgrade that you go with. They talk a little bit further down about how these character slots will function and how the plots of land will function. The plots of land are shared across your whole account. So if you have the Master package with 4 plots of land, or the Master's Founder pack, you get 4 plots of land and 6 character slots. You can make 6 different characters. I'm not too sure why you would need more, like, so many character slots, but I guess if you really just want to have different, but you're not going to have you're not going to be sharing your crafting and stuff like that. So I'm not too sure. If you want to just have another character, I guess you can, maybe on a different server or something. But since you have 4 plots of land, and let's say you have 2 characters, you could use 1 plot on one character and 3 plots on the other character. So those plots are shared across your account, and those character slots are for your entire account. So that's something to keep in mind. That's how, from my understanding about what I read down below, and we'll get into it here, that's how the plots of land and character slots are going to work. The only other thing you get as journeyman is you get the founder's outfit, which is an exclusive recipe. Founders can stand out from the crowd by wearing these exquisite garments. So here is some of the exclusive stuff you're going to get, I'm assuming. There's the founder's emblem, founder's coronet, little circlet thing, I'm guessing. You have the founder's finery and how are you pronouncing that? What is that? Causus? So it looks like male and female garments here for the founder's pack. Founder's mantle, so you get a nice cloak with a PAX Day emblem on it. You get some shoes. All right, you get shoes. Cool. And then there's that emblem again. So we'll go through these again here. I mean, I like the attention to detail on them. They look nice. They nice high-res textures. Let's see what they look like in game, but they don't look too fancy. I'm glad they don't look too fancy. You know, they're nothing like super crazy, outlandish. I don't like, because that would, like I was talking about immersion a lot in the previous streams and the previous podcasts, but I don't like when things have the potential to ruin your immersion. So I like that these are toned down and they're just going to be unique. That mantle's pretty cool. So there you have it. That's what's going to be with the founder's outfit. That is going to complete the journeyman package, which again is $39.99. And we can click see content here. This will bring it all up in one little package here. So you get game access, 2 character slots, 1 plot of land, founder's Discord role, the emblem, the little circlet thing, the mantle, the shoes, and the options for either of the clothing. Additionally, for the artisan founders pack for $59.99, so 20 more euros, you get the hunting lodge or the hunter's lodge exclusive recipes. Add some flair to your interior by crafting items from this exclusive set of decorative pieces. So let's see what's included with this. Looks like we have some tapestries. Okay, those look pretty nice. We have a chandelier made out of antlers with some candles hanging from a chain. You have the hunter's drinking horn. I wonder if this is actually cosmetic or if it can be used. I hope it can be used. You have the hunter's table and bench, some nice cut wood on that. Nice carved wood on the edges. You have like a deer carved into the side of the table. That looks pretty nice. Some pretty nice benches there with some antlers, some carved wood antlers on the legs. And that's going to be everything you get there in that hunter's pack. So you get the chandelier, drinking horn, table, tapestry. And then, so that's going to conclude the artisan's package. So you're going to have to determine, is that worth it for you? You get 1 additional plot, 2 additional character slots, and those 4 custom Hunter's Lodge cosmetics. Zalmoxis says a problem I see with the way they announce the packs is that we don't know if this is the only way to get the plots or if we can upgrade the packs later if we get extra plots in game. So I can answer one of those questions for you. Can we upgrade the packs later? You can. During early access, they said that you will have access to upgrade your existing package. So if you purchase the Journeyman and then you decide, they didn't tell us if it's going to, you just pay the difference. So we don't know the monetization behind them, but they did tell us that you will be able to upgrade. I'm assuming you just pay the difference. So you would pay 20 euros and you would get the Artisan's package. Zelmoxis further says, from the price, a plot is 20 euros with these packs. That is not cheap, but we don't know if that is cheap or expensive. So I think what he's getting at is, are you going to be able to purchase plots exclusively on their own? That's what I was touching on earlier. We don't know, and the problem is, are they going to be? Is there going to be a limit? There has to be a limit on plots, otherwise people are just going to lock down the entire map, right? Maybe there's going to be some form of in-game upkeep to maintain however many plots you have. Maybe your founders plots are all encompassed with one upkeep fee, so it doesn't matter how many you have, up to 4, but then additional plots will cost some form of upkeep in game. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. They didn't tell us, so I can only assume, but they did say that you will be able to upgrade, and we'll get, I'm going to read through this entire page, all of this. We're going to cover all of it, but they did say that you can upgrade. So I'm assuming you would just pay the 20 euro difference and then you would get the additional stuff. They said you'll be able to do that on Steam or directly through their website if you choose to go directly through their launcher. So that wraps up the Artisan pack. We'll click the see content here and we'll just see the overview thing on this. So here you go. You can see it on screen. The Artisan's Founders Pack content. You get game access, 4 character slots, 2 plots of land, the Founders Discord role, that tapestry, the chandelier, the bench, and the drinking horn. And you get everything of the previous Founder's outfit. Yeah, so you get the Founder's outfit with the 6 recipes as well. And there's 7 recipes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7 recipes for the Hunter's Lodge because you have these 3 different tapestries, chandelier, the horn, the table, and the bench. The benches are the same, so it just counts as 1. Then for the Masters, which is 99.99 euro, you get all of the previous stuff. You get an additional 2 more plots of land, bringing you to a total of 4. You get 6 character slots, so an additional 2 character slots. You get all of the Founder's Outfit recipes, all of the Hunter's Lodge exclusive recipes, and now you get the Wyvern Building Set exclusive recipe. Highlight your building skills by incorporating these special pieces into your creation. So let's see what it includes here. This looks like something that goes on top of a building, like the little wind thing that points, north or whatever, wherever the wind's blowing. So you get that. You get some sconces to light up, some extra different cosmetics to light up your builds with. You get little corner support beams. These go up in the corners and hold up, they're just cosmetic, but they look like they're holding up the supports to your structures. So those are kind of cool. You get short and long pillars. So these are presumably going to be cosmetic pillars that can replace the existing pillars for support beams inside of your builds. Those look really nice. They have a little wyvern design on the top. I hope the colors are able to match. I think it's just highlighting this, and this is grayscale because it's highlighting that this is what you actually get. But you get a short and long pillar. And then you get the exclusive wyvern short and long beams with this nice, it's almost like crown molding. It's going to go along the top of your walls there, add a little bit of accent. So those look pretty nice. And you get short and long of those. So that's everything that you're going to get with the Master Pack. Let's pull up the full overview here. So you get game access, 6 character slots, 4 plots of land, the Discord role, all the Founders outfits, all of the Hunter Lodge recipes. So that's 6 Founders outfit recipes, 7 Hunter's Lodge recipes, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Wyvern building sets because you get short and long of the beams and short and long of the pillars. So pretty cool stuff. That's only going to be able to be determined if it's worth it based on the individual person, because that is quite a bit more, but you're getting 4 plots. The extra The extra, you can almost look at it as the extra recipes are just icing on top, because it's really going to come down to these plots. Character slots, sure, take it or leave it. I really probably can only have one, maybe two characters, but it's the plots of land that's going to be the determining factor here. And then these recipes are kind of just icing on top, in my opinion. But that is an overview of the packages. We're going to get into more of the details down below. Let's scroll down here and see what else they talk about. So this is them talking about the Founders Pack exclusive recipes. They show them kind of off here. You can see in these screenshots, they show them off a little bit in action. So you have the sconce here, the corner beams on the outside of the building. You have the little wind thingy up on the top. You have the cross-section beam here, the crown molding here going across the joining of the two walls. So you can see that right there. You can see the outfit on an actual character. On the male player model here, you have the cloak, the pendant, kind of hard to see, but it has the pendant on. That is a little circlet. I was right, goes along your head. Shoes you can't really see because you're in the grass, but then there's that nice green outfit showing off all of the, I wish they would have showed us the female player model as well. Here's the Hunter's Lodge in actions. You see the chandelier hanging there. That fire, that fire is not part of it in the corner there, but you have the tapestry, the table, not the greatest screenshot, but you could see a little bit there. So that is that. Let's scroll down here now. This is an early access. PAX Day is still heavily in development and not yet feature complete. We expect all aspects of the game to require balancing and polish, which that's to be expected. That's how early access works. So it's just going to be coming down to, what is the monetization? We need to know the monetization. And that's what I'm going to be pushing for, to try and get that information as soon as possible so that prospective players will know what they're getting into. Because that's the biggest thing right now, is I'm going to talk about that more once we get into, well, the purchase section. Throughout early access, we plan to expand the game in terms of content and systems. Major updates will require us to wipe the game. This is another thing we need to talk about, is there's going to be wipes most likely. Reset the world and or progression and have everybody start over. PAX Day's early access is scheduled to last until at least June 2025, possibly longer. So we're looking at about a 1 year early access window. Zelmoxis says, do you know if all characters will have access to the plots? So if you made a second character, I can use everything and build in the first character. That's a good question. They did not talk about that as far as I've seen. I'm going to go through all of this again. I just briefly read through it so I would know what I'm talking about a little bit. But that's a very good question. I'll try and find that out. I would assume, yes, you would have access to all of your existing plots and things like of that nature. I would assume so. But the way that they worded it, they made it sound like one of your characters can use any number of plots, and then your other character can use any number of plots. I would assume what that's referring to is your plots are account wide, your characters are account wide, and they're letting you know that your individual characters will have access to any remaining plots to be able to use as that character's plot. But I'm going to assume that you will have access to your other plots. The only thing that would lead me to believe otherwise would be, they talk about having another character to like join another clan or a guild or whatever it may be, and play with another group of people. If that's the case, if your one character is in a clan and you're sharing your plot with that clan, I don't think your other character would have access to that plot then, because that would be a loophole in order for you to gain access to that clan's resources without being a part of that clan. So I'm inclined to believe that if you're in, I don't think they're going to have two systems. I don't think if you're not in a clan, they're all of a sudden going to let you have access to your plot, and then once you join a clan, they restrict it only to that character. I don't think that's how they're going to do it. So I'm leaning towards the plots are character specific and non-transferable. That's what I would think, because of the way the clan system would work, and that would be a loophole. If they would let you have access to it, as soon as you share access to that plot with anyone else, such as clan members or party members, I would think that it would then restrict your other characters, because otherwise it's just a loophole, right? If you're sharing it with a clan, you're telling them, hey, store all of your stuff in here. It's safe with me, haha. And then all of a sudden you just go in on your other character and clean them out. I mean, I guess you could argue that you could just clean them out on your main character. What would the difference be? You're the same person controlling the character, but I could see that being a conflict of interest. So let me know what you guys think about that. But that's how I think it would work. But yeah, so we're looking at about at least a year window for early access. Sparta Rex says, greeting boys and girls. Hello, Sparta. Welcome to the stream. Episode 3 of PaxCast. We're going over all the different packages here. I don't know if you just joined. We're going over all the packages here for early access. Looks like the early access window is going to be about a year because it says it's going to last at least until June 25th, possibly longer. Your purchase. So let's get into this here. PAX Day Early Access will start on June 18th. So there you go. Mark your calendars. June 18th, 2024, lasting until at least June 2025, possibly longer. So yes, again, a year window starting June 18th. Pre-purchase the game now and be amongst the first players to play as soon as it releases. Purchasing a Founder's Pack grants you access to the game and all of the contents listed above, character slots, in-game plots, exclusive crafting recipes for the entire duration of early access. So that's good to know. We will have access day one, and we'll have access all the way through till full release. The exact business model. So this is where it gets a little dicey, and this is where they're going to get a lot of grief from me. Because again, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not beholden to anybody. I tell you exactly my thoughts. I've seen this happen with a lot of games. I've seen a lot of games, different monetization models. I've been around for a while, seeing a lot of different MMOs and watched them all evolve. I was all the way back in the beta. Actually, I think it was the alpha of World of Warcraft before the UI even got overhauled and stuff like that. So they say the exact business model and pricing for PAX Day after early access are not defined yet. I find that hard to believe. They have to know by this point what type of monetization they're going with. They know if there's going to be microtransactions. They know if there's going to be a subscription model, which they talk about. They know what the business model is. So I don't know why they're not telling us. They may not have the full details that they're ready to share yet because they know that this is going to be a pivotal point for a lot of people. My problem with them not telling us exactly what's going on here is they're asking for your money already. And I'm okay with early access. I'm okay with funding games. Hell, I've spent way more money than I should have on Elite Dangerous. But that is a crowd-funded game. This is different. This is not a crowd-funded game. So the exact business model and pricing of PAX Day after early access is not defined yet. That's a red flag for me, but we're going to talk more about that. After release, we plan to introduce, on top of the initial game purchase, a fee, subscription, or similar. The question is it a mandatory subscription like World of Warcraft, or is it a additional subscription like a lot of other games do? Ancient Guy, welcome. Ancient Guy says, yeah, they are going subscription per plot, I think. That was what I was thinking. So I'm curious, if you purchase the highest tier Founders Package and you get 4 plots, are they going to charge you an upkeep fee based on how many plots you have? Or are they going to do it the way they should? In my eyes, if you purchase the highest tier Founders Package, you're giving them a lot of money up front and you don't even know the business model going forward yet. You're putting a lot of faith in them. I think all 4 of those plots should count as one fee. And I think the fee should be somewhat in-game. I think you should be able to pay the upkeep cost in-game, because I'm not a big fan of when they export monetization of what should be an in-game currency to real money. Now you're getting into the microtransactions, you're getting into not pay to win, but pay to control, pay to grow, pay to skip, things like that. We can talk about those business models further down the road here, but the initial game purchase and then a subscription or something similar for ongoing access to the game and plots. So they're talking about a subscription, monthly subscription, which again, I'm not opposed to. I like World of Warcraft's monthly subscriptions. So if you're going to be playing World of Warcraft, you pay the fee, you get access to everything the game has to offer. If you want to earn some cosmetics, you don't buy them, you go earn them. So if they're going to be doing this going forward, I expect not to see any DLC. I expect not to see any cash shop where you can purchase cosmetics and stuff. They can be very, very limited. World of Warcraft does it. I don't agree with World of Warcraft doing that. Ancient Guy says on Discord, there is some chatter for plots. Yes, they're going to have an increased subscription. Okay, yeah. So if you keep that in mind, this is not confirmed, but according to Ancient Guy in chat, he's saying that if you have the 4 plots, it's going to cost you more for the upkeep of those 4 plots. So I don't like to see that because it's kind of deceiving, you know. Right now, if you're getting the highest tier package thinking you're getting 4 plots, and then the game comes out and let's say it's $10 a month to upkeep your plots, and now you got to pay $40 a month to upkeep your 4 plots, otherwise you're going to lose access to what you already paid for. A little shady in my opinion. And again, I'm going to tell you how it is. You can be mad at me, you could disagree. I'm not a fanboy. I am just laying it out flat here and covering this as soon as I can and giving it to you straight. So if that's the case, that's a little shady. Founders packs include the initial game purchase, and the owner of a founders pack will also retain character slots and exclusive recipes included in their packs. We'll be transparent about our future pricing plans and provide more details as we approach the official release. So it doesn't really sit well with me. We will be transparent about future pricing plans. I need you to be transparent about your pricing plans now. I can understand how you don't want to just come out and tell everyone, yeah, it's subscription, because you're going to lose a lot of original founders, because who wants to... This is the way I see it, right? Ancient Guy says it's crappy, all right. Yeah, I agree. So here's the way I see it. You don't want to pay for playtesters. We're your playtesters. Okay, cool. We were here for the alpha. We were your playtesters. We put in the work. You know, how it used to be back in the day, you would have to pay people to play your game, and then you would get it to a point where it's acceptable and you wanted to show people it. Then you would open it up to like beta, and then people could get into a closed beta and stuff like that. So we are your unpaid testers, right? In fact, we're paying you now to test and report on your game because we're investing into it. What do we get for that? We get the exclusive things listed up above. But if we're going to have to be paying on top of it a subscription based on our plots, that would not sit right with me, because those 4 plots that we are paying into to essentially pay you to allow us to be an unpaid tester of your game, I don't think we should have to pay extra for those plots in terms of subscription in the future. Catch up a little bit with chat here. We got Thyson, I think Thyson. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing this. Says, hey all, welcome to episode 2 of PaxCast here on the Inner Sleuths live stream. Ancient Guy says, yeah, they're being the opposite of transparent currently. Yes, I completely agree. And that's why the only way they could get around is saying we're going to be transparent about our future pricing plans and provide more details as we approach official release. So they're saying they're going to be transparent in the future, I guess. It's kind of worrisome. I could talk till I'm blue in the face about this type of monetization, but it's going to come down to what other forms of monetization is there. If there's any form of pay to win where you purchase weapons that have power attached to them, big no-no. The complete model of monetization is destroyed, because player power should never be attached to a cash shop, in my opinion. You can have character boosts. Okay, sure, but there's no levels in this game, right? So I don't think this game, if it's going to be a subscription, should have access to crafting boosts where you're going to be purchasing a boost and then you can level up your weapon skills faster, because that would be player power. Or you're crafting because now you're purchasing your place in the world, where you can craft faster than other players, or create, yield more resources faster, get your tier of crafting higher than others faster. Thesian says, no one is forcing people to buy it. We know what we're getting into, essentially. I would agree with that. No one's forcing people to buy it. That's correct. But the thing is, we don't really know what we're getting into. Some people are going to purchase this thinking that they're going to just be able to keep their plots. And then if they're going to charge an upkeep fee, a subscription per plot, because right now we don't know if it's per plot, right? If it's just is it an in-game upkeep where you have to pay X amount of gold in order to keep your plots? That'd be okay. Big clans can have a lot of plots and work together to pay the upkeep. Or is it going to be an actual real life purchase to upkeep those plots? Because if you buy a founders pack right now with 4 plots, and let's just say it's $5 per plot to upkeep, you're paying $20 a month on top of potentially a subscription fee. It's just a little vague, you know. I just want some clarification, and I'm going to dig and try to get that clarification for all my viewers here and all my listeners. We're going to see if we can't talk with some of the devs and see if we can figure out exactly get some clarification on that. But yeah, those are my concerns with the monetization currently. Is we don't know the current monetization, we don't know the future monetization, if there's gonna be microtransactions and paid DLCs, and on top of a subscription, on top of purchasing plots, on top of paying for upkeep fees. That's what I want to know. Scroll down a little bit here, and we will talk about. It's only available in English right now. Down below, they talk about German and maybe French or something. I know German and some other language they're going to be bringing. I don't want to misspeak. We'll read it down below, but here are the system requirements. I have a 5950X, a Ryzen 5950X. I have a 6900 XT, 32 gigs of RAM. I'm running on a Samsung NVMe 980 Pro, so very fast storage. I don't have any issues running the game. There was a couple of visual glitches that were a little bit strange. But those were not like lag or any issues like that running the game during the last Wilderness Alpha. So I didn't have any issues running it when we got into the alphas. So it was pretty okay there. But the minimum requirements are going to be a GeForce RTX 2060, the 12 gigabyte model, or a Radeon RX 5700 XT with VRAM 8 gigabyte. So VRAM, they say the GPU, they need an RTX 2060, the 12 gig model, but then they say VRAM, which is video RAM, is 8 gigs. So that's a little vague there. I'm not too sure. Maybe the 2060 only comes in 12 gig, but there's your video card requirement. CPU, you need an Intel i5 7600K or an AMD equivalent. What would be an equivalent of 7600? I'm not too sure exactly what that would be. RAM 16 gig, storage SSD 80 gigabytes of free space, and Windows 10 or higher. The recommended is going to be a GeForce RTX 3060 or a Radeon RX 6600 XT. 8 gigs of VRAM still, and a CPU Ryzen 7 3700X or equivalent. So over here they tell you it for Ryzen, over here they tell you for Intel. So you need something between a 7600K and a 3700X. And same they recommend an NVMe as opposed to an SSD. Let's catch up on some of this chat here. Thiessen, sorry for pronouncing your name wrong. Thiessen. I take that when the release comes in the next year, or I take that when release comes next year. Oh, I see. So you're just the monetization in the future. Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm going to be backing the project as well too. I'm going to be covering this all along the way with you guys. So make sure subscribe, join our Discord. We're going to be doing a clan build together for Blood Brothers, and we have a piece of land in mind already. We're going to be working together to progress through this and maybe do some PvP, some PvE, and check out all things PAX Day. I'm not trying to be overly harsh on the game, but I'm also not going to sugarcoat when we don't know something. So if it sounds like I'm being overly harsh, it is what it is. I'm going to just read it as it is from the information we have and just tell it as it is, you know. You're going to enjoy it until the end of early access. Absolutely, yeah, me as well. Played Alpha 1 and 2 and enjoyed it. Yeah, I loved the Alpha. It was great. I had a really good time with it. Didn't really notice too many bugs. We talked about a couple of the pain points in the earlier podcasts. So if you want to hear the issues that I had with it, check out those previous podcasts. Ancient Guy says, yep, can't wait to get back in. Absolutely. I'm right there with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sparta Rex says, I fully expect it to be a flat sub fee per month, $14.99 like EverQuest or WoW, and maybe an updated monthly fee, $19.99 perhaps. They will have a per plot fee, but that would be an in-game. That would be ideal. I would be okay with that. That'd be really, really good. But I want to get some clarification if I can from the devs. So I'm going to be trying to reach out to them and see if we can get some information from them on that. Hey, maybe we can even get them on the podcast, you know, who knows? Sparta Rex also further says, not knowing is certainly an issue at this point. I hope the devs clear it up soon. Yeah, that's the only thing that I was saying sounded kind of shady was it's like they have these packages available right now for purchase, right? And we're going to have access on June 18th, but we just don't know what you're getting yourself into fully. So you have to be okay making those purchases without fully knowing. But like you said, Sparta Rex, I would hope that it would be flat fee and then in-game upkeep for your plots. That would be pretty cool, because then you could use your clan to have a big plot, and however big you want your property to be, you got to pay the upkeep. Thyson says, but it also going to depend on how much content they're going to push out and how fast. Yeah, that's really going to come down to it as well too. If they're going to be really pumping out a lot of content that's included with the subscription, that's what I like about subscription games, right? With like World of Warcraft, for instance, you pay your flat fee, you get a live service that is ever evolving with hopefully good amounts of content that's going to keep it flowing, right? You get seasons and stuff like that. I really hope they don't add like a battle pass or anything like that. If they do it how World of Warcraft did it, where it's included in your subscription. You get access to the trading post. That's okay in my opinion. It's the battle passes that you have to pay with real money in order to gain access to things on top of your subscription now. You're dipping into, if you have microtransactions, subscription, and battle passes and stuff, you're dipping into too many forms of monetization, and it starts to become too much, you know? So now they go on to say, why an early access? Let's see what they have to say here. Oh, they have a little video. I don't know if this is going to have audio. This is a 4-minute video. Let me see if I can patch the audio through and we will watch this together live. Give me 1 second here. I'm doing this live again. I didn't know this was a video here. Brave browser. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and get my browser audio patched in if I can. Bear with me 1 second here. Ancient Guy, I'm all in. Full release is over a year away, so even the master package gets your money's worth before they go live. Yeah, that's probably what I'm leaning towards as well, because I'm going to be, doing a clan, and all subscribers, everyone's welcome to partake in the early access with us. We're going to be doing big clan builds and stuff like that. So again, join the Discord. Discord should be linked all over the place. Hey, Templar, welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. This is probably only a thing I'm going to risk this year, so I went for it. Yeah, I'm there with you. Again, I don't want it to sound like I'm bashing on them too hard. I'm going to tell it how it is, We don't know, and I'm not going to fanboy over something that we just don't know. I'm going to try and get the answers for us. I'm obviously going all in on this. I'm building the channel around it pretty much. This and Star Wars Unlimited and a little bit of Star Citizen. So we got a 3-point effect here that we're going off on. But Thesian says the devs are talking about that. Is that what you mean? Yeah, I'm going to be hopping on the Discord here. Maybe even during this, if I can patch this audio in. Let me get this audio patched in here. All right, let me see here. So slide this over. Advanced audio properties. I'm trying to, because right now you guys will not be able to hear. You won't be able to hear this. So let me unhide all. Okay, this can be hidden. This can be hidden. Discord chat overlay. That can be hidden. Bear with me 1 moment here. I'm trying to get the audio for this pulled up. So it says capture audio beta. When enabled, creates an application audio capture source that automatically updates the currently captured video application. So let's try and do that. Sorry about that flicker there. Thesian says, one of the devs, we have discussed internally that we will want to offer a nice package to players based on what they bought when we migrate to the post-EA model. And at that point, they go on to say, I'm sure we will do something nicer to people who bought the more expensive package. It's just too early to say exactly what that is. Yeah, that's good to hear then, So the devs are going to be doing something, which I figured they would, It's just without actually knowing and seeing it on the page, it's hard to just, I'm not going to tell you something that I don't know. So that's good to hear, though. That's really good. Templar says, I went for the 4 plots, so I have a few to do some builds. Yeah, that's what I'm probably going to be grabbing as well. So when we do our clan, if we're all together, we'll be able to, have a nice big chunk of land in that zone that we were staking out. All right, I need you guys to let me know if you are able to hear this audio. So I have mic, live chat, game audio, chat. Okay, so this one, I'll just leave that there for now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this. Let me know if you can hear it and if it's too loud.
Mainframe Industries based on a singular.
I'm going to start it over here.
Mainframe Industries based on a singular vision for the future of the MMO category. We believe that PAX Day is a reinvention of the genre, and now we're entering early access.
So are you guys able to hear that? Let me know if you're able to hear that from my browser over the stream. And if it's too loud or too quiet, let me know as well. But this is the CEO of Mainframe, I think, talking here. I'm going to have to be pausing this because I don't want to get copyright or anything like that. Hopefully they don't have any music playing. Otherwise, I'll have to mute it at parts. I don't want to get copyrighted on it, but I'm going to be pausing it using fair use. YouTube, I'm using fair use. I'm commentating on this video. I'm not just replaying this video. Not sure if my clan is going to build the same place as last time. I did plug a lot of resources in, so I know where they are. You can hear it? Okay, good. Is it too loud or too quiet, or is it pretty good in terms of my voice volume? Because this is the first time I've ever patched the audio through the browser into the stream. But I am going to have to be pausing this. Sparta says you hear it. Templar says it's good for me. All right. Well, then let's watch this together and be pausing it and talking on some of the points that they're making throughout this video. It's 4 minutes long, so we'll just go ahead and pop right into it.
To allow us to test our scaling, to make sure that everything is running as smoothly as we possibly can. And we hope you will take the time to join us in the adventure. We can't wait to see the world that you make.
With early access, what we're aiming to build is a community of people working very closely with development team. The reason is obviously that the game cannot be built without people. It's a game about people interacting and the social emergence and the social structures and hierarchies that emerge from this, and the interaction and the wars they will fight and the peace they will make.
That's interesting that they talk about that, because that's one of the main points of PAX Day is there's no NPCs. They did talk really early on about how there's still going to be like forms of quests in one way or another. I still think it'd be really cool if they had bulletin boards or bounty boards inside of clan property where other players can come into your village, go to your bounty board, see what you need or what you have up to offer in terms of work, and then they can choose to take contracts out and fulfill them and stuff. I feel like that would be a very rich system with player interaction, allowing different clans to work together or rivals to work together and things like that. But not having NPCs, it's really interesting that, they're talking about how they want it to be about player interaction and not just you're talking to NPCs, right? Because you can go through an entire game of World of Warcraft and not even talk to another player. You don't even really need to, unless you're doing like end game content of raids or and things like that. But in terms of like the story, you can interact with just NPCs. So it's kind of nice to know that they're not going this full NPC path, and they're really pushing for player interaction.
We want it to be early in the hands of the players so we can make it ready together. There will be bugs, there will be issues, but we're so humbled to see how people have been receiving it already.
Going into early access is really the next major milestone for us, and it will enable us to host more players and get more feedback.
So basically, early access means that you are on the floor with us during development.
We really want to listen to the communities, by being able to make good calls on what are the new things that we'll be adding to the game.
Basically help us build this world.
We want to make it right.
Let me know in the chat here. Some of these devs are big devs from previous titles that are very successful. If I cannot remember which individuals they are and where they came from, but I'm pretty sure there's some big like ex-MMO devs from previous projects that are working on PAX Day. And the other thing they talked about was there's going to be bugs and stuff, obviously. And I want to stress this again, like I did during the ending of my whole playthrough of the Wilderness Alpha 2. Make sure you guys are, they're probably going to have an in-game report tool for bugs. Make sure you guys are reporting all the bugs. Give them all the feedback we can, because they seem to be very receptive on the info that we're telling them. You know, I was very prominent about letting them know the issues I had with the crafting, the holes in the crafting, any of the exploits and stuff I found. So if we can bring this stuff up, we can make the game better when it comes out of early access. But yeah, let me know if you guys know which devs are from what projects in the past.
So the way we look at the game we have now is kind of thinking the game in, there's three major segments to it. One is the resource harvesting, village building, and crafting that you've done in a relative piece, and that allows you to build gear, that allows you to go to adventures. The adventures form the second third of the game, where you at the highest level go to dungeons, experience like creatures and get loot, and this you need to bring back to the villages.
I'm really looking forward to the dungeons in this game. There's some screenshots and other media on the dungeons. Maybe in the future, I'm going to be doing a lore podcast talking about a lot of the lore about the game. You saw a dragon? Where at? Did I miss a dragon? Did I really miss a dragon?
That you've done in a
let's see here.
Piece, and that allows you to build gear, that allows you to go to adventures.
Where's the dragon? This looks like a dungeon right here. I'm really looking forward to the dungeons. If they do dungeons, I don't even care if they're instance. Like, instance would be great, actually, in my opinion. But if they do dungeons like Conan Exiles does dungeons, those dungeons are great. Really good scripting. You know, if they make them dynamic somehow, that'd be really great. Where's the dragon?
Adventures
Okay, we're still in this dungeon.
Form the second third of the game, where you at the highest level go to dungeons, experience.
I didn't see a dragon.
Creatures and get loot, and this you need to.
Are you trolling me, Sparta? I didn't see a dragon.
Bring back to the villages. So the last third we think is missing in the game currently is
30 seconds really before. Okay. So right here is where he's crafting. Oh, on the screen. Okay, I see.
So
hold on, let's see.
We look at the game we have
right here. Yep, dragon on they're working on the dragon. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. A lot of spikes on it. Dude, dragons, and that's going to be amazing. We already know there's some form of magic. I wonder if the dragons are going to be associated with that in some way, shape, or form. Going to get a little bit of Fusro Die action going on. But yeah, dragon, nice catch there. Then they talk about the crafting and the dungeons and bringing your loot back. Here we go. This is where we left off at.
So the last third,
look at that build,
I think is missing in the game currently is the large-scale social systems. And the first thing that we're going to be adding to the game during the early access is the markets. So
yes, check out this concept art. Markets. I don't know what he's about to say, but if he's about to say anything about you can put stuff up for sale, trade goods at these markets or things like that, if these are going to be places where you can sell things, even semi-automated, or maybe you need to have like some form of, you know, maybe you need to have a worker there. I don't know. But if you can put things up for sale and determine their price or their trade value, that's going to be amazing. Templar says, oh man, dragon fight. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. That's going to be absolutely insane. We thought the bears were tough. Yeah, exactly. Let's hear what he's going to say about these markets. But that looks pretty cool so far. If you can actually put things up for sale on these markets.
As a player, you will be able to go out to the PvE adventures and find gold. And this will allow a larger scale economy to emerge that will involve everybody living in the world. The players is the part of the game that really makes the world come alive.
Well, the year since we announced PAX Day has been amazing. We've just been kind of blown away by the reaction.
What surprised us a lot is how much people liked it.
We really didn't expect people to build such huge, beautiful things. We really didn't expect anything like that.
helped, and it's been really such a pleasure to see the community grow.
I can't wait to actually get into the building a little bit more, because in the last alpha, I didn't really want to spend a lot of time building something that I know was going to get wiped. So I wanted to just get down into the nitty gritty of the actual crafting, trying to get some gear up, go and experience some combat, explore a little bit, find out how traversal is going to be. We need horses or some type of fast travel. I talked about donkeys and being able to carry stuff as well on our mounts. That'd be really cool. Let's catch up on a little bit of chat here. Sparta says, yes, we can go get gold coins in PvE and sell things for gold coins. That'd be really great, yeah. Ratuska85, trading is coming and is one of the first updates. That's gonna be really great to see, yeah, because I'm really looking forward to having a very rich trade system. I talked about in my wish list, my last podcast, my last PaxCast episode 2, I talked about a wish list where I think it'd be really, really cool to have some form of caravan system. That could be a pipe dream, I don't know, but having trading at all, I figured it was going to come at some point. I mean, you'd have to have trading in a game like this, right? But having some form of pack mule or caravan of sorts that maybe you'd have to hire protection for or something like that. Lee Bob just sprung up the 4 plots. Gonna finish the Norman Keep, or finish that Norman Keep. So you sprung for you got the 4 plots and you're gonna finish that Norman Keep. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be getting the 4 plots as well.
Grow and to read their feedback, see them help us, and being excited.
It's people are just so engaged with the idea of the game and they just want to get to play it.
Yeah, Lee Bob, that's what I was talking about. That was one of my pain points that I mentioned, and I talked pretty extensively on it in my live streams where I was actually playing during the alpha, the Wilderness Alpha, and also in my previous podcast. I talked pretty extensively about that. They need to close the gap between, there's room to add more recipes, right? So they either got to add some more recipes in between, give you something when you fail, or give you more of your material back. But something's got to give on that. If you want to hear my full thoughts on that, go listen to my previous podcast. Pretty good stuff in those. We're nearing the end of the video here. We got like 30 seconds left. It's so beautiful.
I want to say to the people who have helped us develop the game and tested it very early, you have been completely invaluable. So I say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for helping us.
Thank you. Thank you for testing. Thank you for playing.
Please join us in the early access. We need more feedback. Help us to make PAX Day great.
All right, there you have it. That's their little why early access presentation. Lee Bob says so painful in reference to the crafting. Yeah, if you watch my previous stream, I think it was we had 2 whole episodes of my 10-part stream where I was covering the Wilderness Alpha, Alpha 2. I was just collecting flax, and then I'd come back and I would just bash my head against the wall trying to turn it into twine. It was like fail, 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 get 1 back out of like 15 or 30 of every crafting thing. It was really, really difficult and cumbersome. It was just not getting anything. When you fail making something is when you learn a lot. You learn a lot from that. You take a lot away from when you fail to make something, just like a light bulb, Trying to make a light bulb, you find 500 ways not to make it. That is information that helps you make it, It's just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, the game is absolutely beautiful. Social Sandbox MMO PAX Day. Early access June 18th, 2024. Become a founder. All right, we're going to go on to some of these frequently asked questions now. If you guys have any talking points that you found of anything else through there, it was a good catch on that dragon. If you guys have any other talking points, let me know and we will address them. They have 3 tabs here: early access, PAX content, and purchase. So we start off with why early access. Our game requires a community to come alive. We've reached the stage where we need a live game to keep developing. The feedback we'll receive from our founders will help shape what the game looks like at launch. And that's what I'm talking about. We're kind of unpaid testers at this point, and we're actually paying them to have access to test it. A lot like Star Citizen, but again, Star Citizen is crowdfunded. This is not a crowdfunded game. We'll also reinvest that revenue from early access into making the game better and bigger, fulfilling our vision of a living, breathing world that can be your virtual home for years. In every way, PAX Day will only exist with the support of its players. I don't know. It'll exist without the support of the players. I'm not saying don't support it, but if you are hesitant at all on any of these purchase packages, get the smallest one. They said you'll be able to upgrade, or wait until it comes out of early access if you're still too worried about it. But if you're going to be backing the project, join the Inner Sleuths community. We're going to be starting a big clan there. So that's why early access. Let's see the next point here. What is the current state of the game? PAX Day is still heavily in development and not yet feature complete. We expect all aspects of the game will require balancing and polish. Throughout early access, we plan to expand the game in terms of content and systems. Check our website and Discord for the latest updates on our progress, which we're definitely going to be doing probably in the next podcast, next episode 4 of PaxCast. We're probably going to be trying to get some more information from the devs. I doubt they're going to want to come on, but maybe we can get an interview with one of the devs on the channel if the channel grows big enough. The subscriber count in the top left corner is off a little bit. It always lags behind a little bit. We're pushing 170 currently, trying to get up to 200 subscribers. So if you guys are liking what you see, please subscribe, like, leave comments, pop in the chat. All of that helps the channel grow. How long will the game remain in early access? So yeah, we already went over that. It's about a year or longer, which I think is a pretty good time, to be honest. That's going to give them enough time to polish everything and get it all functioning how they want it. This is going to be talking about the wipes. So what do you mean by wiping the game? How often will that happen? They say here, throughout early access, as we expand the game, both in terms of content and systems, we anticipate major updates that will require us to reset the game entirely and start over. Which that's normal. That happens with Star Citizen. That happens with a lot of games in early access, and every single game in early access is most likely going to have a wipe going from early access into full release. That's normal. So I'm not too surprised by there being wipes. That being said, we will do our best to keep such wipes as few and far between as possible. Ideally, we will also try to do them only partially. Major changes on the terrain of the home valleys could lead to a reset of all plots, which again, that makes sense if they're like literally adding a mountain where your base is, or changing the terrain height or something like that, or adding a forest, or remove, whatever it may be. If your plot is affected by that, they're probably gonna have to wipe the plots. So makes sense, but not to your characters in those cases. Some deep changes to the skill system or the crafting progression could lead to a reset of the characters, but not the plots. So again, it's vice versa. They may need to wipe the characters. If they change something with the crafting system and they need to see how the new crafting system progresses, they need you to start over from the beginning to check for balance and stuff like that. It makes sense that they're going to need to wipe your existing progress. They can't just not wipe it. They're going to need to get that data, and that's what an early access is for. So completely understandable. At least one complete wipe/reset will occur just before full release. Like I just said, yeah, that makes sense. Most games you have to wipe when you go to full release, and it should be the last one. We don't plan to wipe once the game is no longer in early access. So once it's fully released, no more wipes. So that's good to hear. Will players coming from different platforms be able to play together? Yes, players using Steam or the PAX Day launcher will have access to a common list of shards. So that's another thing to consider. If you would like the game on Steam, they have said that when I get over into purchase, they talk about it as well there. You will be able to upgrade your Steam purchase from one Founders Pack to a higher pack, and most likely to the highest pack. You'll be able to go up 3 different tiers. I'm assuming paying the difference in the cost. What languages are available? The game is currently only available in English. So yeah, it was German and French. So I was right. German and French. That's the languages that they're going to be adding next. PAX content. What's a plot? A plot allows a given player to embark on a limited in-game area, or earmark, a limited in-game area for their own usage, where everything they build can be seen, and if they so choose, shared with other players. Multiple plots can be grouped together to allow more space for bigger structures, or placed separately to enjoy several homes in different locations of game worlds. Plots are managed at the account level, so players with multiple plots can choose to allocate them to a single character or split them across alts. So this still doesn't really fully answer the question of, if I have one character that has a plot and another character that has the plot, can each of those characters access each other's plots? I'm not too sure on that. I would say no. I could be wrong, but I would say no, just because of the clan issue loophole that I talked about earlier. But your plots are managed at the account level. How long is a given plot valid? Plots included in the Founders Pack will last for the full duration of early access. Full duration of early access. So that means potentially after early access, they're going to require upkeep, like we talked about, meaning whatever gets built in those spaces will be permanently maintained, except for the occasional reset due to major updates requiring wipes of the game and starting over, which we talked about. The business models, here we go. The business model and pricing for PAX Day after early access are not defined yet. However, please be aware that plots might be subject to additional charges after the full game release. So there we go. There we have another partial answer. So please be aware that plots might be subject to additional charges. They're talking about monetization here. They're not talking about in-game currency. So whoever mentioned earlier that maybe it's an in-game upkeep or something, this kind of is worded like it won't be. So just keep that in mind, everybody who's thinking about, getting into the early access and the number of plots you're going to be having. You may be required to have additional charges based on the amount of land that you are claiming. Now, does that mean if you're not using a plot, do you have to pay an additional upkeep? I would assume not. I don't think just owning the plots would require you to pay the upkeep on them. Maybe if they're used. So just keep that in mind. What's a character slot? A number of character slots defines the maximum number of characters a given player account supports, with each character occupying one slot. In a game without classes, additional characters allows players to explore, join other clans, and meet new friends. So this is where I was talking about. I don't think you're going to have access to each character's plot that you allocate to them is probably going to be independent completely because of that join other clans thing right there. I could be wrong, but that's just what I would assume. Can I play several characters from my account at the same time? A given account can only have one character in-game at a given time. I mean, come on, did we really expect anything different there? That makes perfect sense. You can have multiple characters, but you can only play on one of them at a time. You would need another account to do that. What do you mean by exclusive recipes? Depending on the pack they opt for, founders will be granted several additional crafting recipes. The items unlocked by these recipes are cosmetics. They don't offer specific gameplay advantages. These recipes can be used an unlimited number of times with the required material. So you'll need the materials in game in order to produce the product that is, from these recipes, which makes sense. You're not gonna be able to just manifest beams out of your ass or anything like that. You're still gonna have to make them. And they are purely cosmetic changes. There's no specific gameplay advantage, which is good. I don't like when they lock player power behind paywalls and stuff like that. The recipes can be used an unlimited amount of times with the required materials, and the resulting items behave like any other similar in-game item. These recipes are exclusive to founders. Players joining after the full release of PAX Day won't have access to these recipes. My question is, what game is it where you can, so in V Rising, you can be a founder and have all these DLCs and packages, which give you access to recipes that are cosmetics. I can make those cosmetics and just give them to my friends, right? So can I be in a clan or have a clan in the future where I'm not the builder, but I make a lot of these exclusive recipes and put them into a chest, and then my builder can take them and use them? Or will they not be able to place them because they do not have access to the recipes? That's what I would like to know. Because what if I don't want to be the builder and now I'm the only one who has access to all of these exclusive crafting recipes, but I'm not the person who's leveling up my carpentry or whatever? So that's something to consider as well. What is the founder's outfit? We saw the founder's outfit. Yeah, it consists of 6 exclusive recipes: the founder's finery, the causus, mantle, shoes, coronet, and emblem. Founders will recognize each other by wearing these garments. You'll be able to craft these items an unlimited number of times with the required materials. So same as the other building materials, you just have to have the stuff. That's what I'm wondering. Can you just give these to other people? Resulting items behave like any other similar in-game item. Since it's acting like any other similar in-game item, I would assume that you can just give it to other players and they can then use them and put them on, which is, I don't know, it takes a little bit away from it being founder exclusive, because if anyone can just equip it, is it really founder's clothing? I guess, because you're giving it to other people. Maybe you could trade them for people. I don't know, but that's something to keep in mind there. What is the Hunter's Lodge? So we know what these are, but I'm just going to read, see if there's anything inside here that we don't know about yet. The Hunter's Lodge consists of 7 exclusive recipes, 3 for the Hunter's Blessing. You have the tapestries, you have the chandelier, the drinking horn, the table, and the bench. Add some flair to your interior by crafting these exclusive sets of decorative pieces. And again, you'll be able to craft an unlimited number of these as long as you have the required material. Same thing with the building set. It's those 7 exclusive. It's the sconce, the wind vane, which goes on the top of your building, the support beams, short and long poles, and short and long beams. And then, yep, so same stuff there. Let me scroll down a little bit here so you can see this. How do I access the dedicated Founders Discord channels? You'll need to link your PAX Day and Discord account to grant you the Founders role, allowing you to post in the dedicated Discord channel and bring your suggestion and feedback directly to the dev team. I'm not going to click this link right now, but they have a learn more on our support site right there. I will bring some more info on that when I actually go ahead and get my package and stuff. And I'm going to try and get an interview with one of the devs or somebody. Hey, Sword, welcome to the stream. We're just going over the FAQ for PAX Day currently. Where are my founders' recipes? All the information about the founders' recipes are up to date on the support site. So there you have that. That is the pack contents. Let's go over to the purchases tab and see what FAQ we have for purchases. Will the game be priced differently during and after early access? Purchasing a Founders Pack grants you access to the game and all of the listed content, character slots, in-game plots, exclusive crafting recipes for the entire duration of early access. Sorry, I had to grab a sip of water there. So that's going to be for the entire duration of early access. The exact business model and pricing of PAX Day after early access are not yet defined. After release, we plan to introduce a fee, a subscription, or something similar on top of the initial game purchase for ongoing access to the game and plots. Founders packs include the initial game purchase, and the owner of a Founders Pack will also retain character slots and exclusive recipes included in their pack. We'll be transparent. So they talk about the same thing. They're going to be transparent in the future about what they're going to be going on. Am I late to the party? Yeah, you missed quite a bit. We're wrapping it up here. We're just talking about the FAQs. We went over the video that they had on there, and we touched on a lot of the other topics. But yeah, you're a little bit late, but you can always rewatch it. I purchased a Founders Pack. Where do I start playing? So on the PAX Day launcher, you need to install the launcher. You can always find the launcher on our support site. In the article linked at the bottom, launch it and log in with your PAX Day account you use to make your purchase, and then the game will be available at the start of early access, which is on June 18th, 2024. On Steam, when early access starts, you'll receive a Steam key on the email address you used for your purchase, including the instructions to redeem your copy of the game. To activate it, click on the Games menu at the top of the Steam client and choose Activate a Product. So just like you would activate any other third-party Steam key that you got, and paste the key into the dedicated field. PAX Day should be available to download in your library. And they did mention right here, they're going to talk about it. Is it possible to upgrade to a higher tier Founders Pack? You will have the possibility to upgrade your Founders Pack to a higher tier as soon as early access begins on June 18th. On the PAX Day launcher, if a player already owns the Founders Pack, their upgrade option will be available on playpaxday.com. On Steam, if a player already owns the Founders Pack, their upgrade option will be available in the DLC section of PAX Day's library page. I'm kind of curious which one to go with. I think I'm just going to get it from their website because I already have an account on their website and all of that already set up. I mean, I use Steam for everything else though, but I don't know if there's going to be a distinguishable difference between the Steam version and their own launcher version. I would assume it's going to be obviously the exact same game. You're going to have access to all of the same content. So I'm not too sure. I think it's just preference maybe. Can I purchase more than one Founders Pack? You can't have more than one license on a PAX Day account. All of your characters will have the recipes from the Founders Pack. That being said, if you create a second PAX Day account, you can buy a Founders Pack for a second account. So if you want multiple packages, you're going to have to make a second account. Can I gift a Founders Pack? Sadly, our system does not handle gifting. So you can't gift it, but I'm assuming you could just buy it for a friend if you wanted to, right? You could just make them an account, or they could make an account and you could just log in or whatever and buy it for them or whatever, you know. Can I have a refund on the Founders Pack that I bought on the website? For billing issues and refund inquiries, please head to our support site. So I'm assuming you could, for whatever reason, if you wanted to, although I don't normally agree with doing things like that. If you're backing something, you mostly know what you're getting yourself into here. So just keep in mind all the things that we touched on. Thiezen says if you do it on their homepage, all the money goes to the devs. Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to be getting it through there so that way they get full of it. Oh yeah, because Steam's going to take a cut, right? So I'm going to go ahead and let everyone know if you want to directly support the devs, get it straight from their website. Don't get it on Steam. You have another launcher. I know, another launcher on your computer, but that being said, Thesian's right. You're going to be fully supporting the devs then. But that is the overview of the Founders Packs. That is all the information I currently have right now. So unless there's any other topics you guys want addressed, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. For Sword, I'll bring them up on screen so you can see the content of the different packages here. Journeyman, $39.99. Artisan, $59.99. Master, $99.99. For the Journeyman, here's the content. Early access, 2 character slots, 1 plot of land, Founder's Roll. You get all these fancy clothing options. For the Artisan, you get all the Founder's outfits from the previous one. You get 4 character slots, 2 plots of land, and all of this fancy building materials. And then for the Master, you get all the Founder's outfits, all the Hunter's Lodge, so all the previous stuff. You get 6 character slots, 4 plots of land, and all of this additional crafting. So that is what's included in the 3 different packs. I'm actually past 104 subs. It's always lagged a little bit behind up there in the corner. It's just how that little tooltip thingy works. It's a little bit behind. I think I'm almost at 170, that 169 or 167, something like that. But yeah, we're pushing for 200. Every little bit helps. If you guys like what you see, please share. I know I said this at the beginning, but please share, like, subscribe. And unless we have any other questions or concerns to wrap up, Templar says, you're going to do like a list of who wants to do what in the Discord or just wing it? We can. Yeah, we can throw that together. That's not a bad idea. I'm still trying to figure out which will be the best server for us. If they have Central US, I'll probably end up going with that. Otherwise, it's going to be between East Coast and West Coast. West Coast is better for Australia. East Coast is better for people over in Europe, I believe. So we'll have to try and find a happy medium there so that way ping isn't too bad. But I am in Central, so it'll be kind of interesting. We'll have to just figure out which one's going to be best for most people. But yeah, we can make a list of what people want to do. I don't think a lot of people fully know yet. So it may be, we may have to, it may be an evolving thing, right? Maybe we figure out during early access what appeals the most to us, and then during full release, we go harder into our specific crafting or roles that we're going to be undertaking. But after I think I've like PTSD from collecting flax, so I'm not too sure if I'm going to be collecting flowers for a while. Sparta says, I got you, brother. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah, any other comments or concerns? You guys can see on screen here the different packs. I think we touched on everything. I'm Central, so you're good with any. Templar says, yep, that's where I am. A lot of really good information in this, though. I'm happy that they pushed this out. Sparta says, I'll see you in game. Let us know what zone you're in once you decide. Yeah, it'll be on the Discord. So anyone who wants to take part and join the clan and participate in the whole community that we got going on here with the Inner Sleuths, make sure you guys are in the Discord. We have a room specifically for PAX Day, and we also have a role for it so that way we can ping each other. It is the Paxian role. In the help room on my Discord, you will see a list of different roles that you can give yourself. You just have to react to the Carlbot's post. We're probably going to do some more polls to see what aspects people are most excited about. I'm going to be doing a lore podcast once I can get some more information on a lot of the lore behind PAX Day, where the magic comes from, all kinds of stuff like that. I'm going to try and get an interview with some of the devs or a dev or anyone who maybe a community manager or something like that to see if we can't get some more information. If I can't get an interview with them, maybe we can get some more information from them on some of the concerns that we have so we can bring the most up-to-date content to the viewers here. So if you know anybody who wants to keep up with PAX Day information and take part in a really cool clan going forward, send them our way. The Inner Sleuths will have them. But I think that's just about going to do that for this stream. We touched on everything I can think of here with this update. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks everyone for watching, and look out for future live streams. See you again.